Forget what you think you know about ninjas. Man, the image of a dark-clad warrior jumping from roof to roof is mostly from movies. Real ninjas were not superheroes with mystical powers. They were people who needed to survive and complete a mission. They used immense skill, careful planning, and the world around them as their greatest assets. Their art was not about seeking glorious combat, but about achieving a goal with as little risk as possible. The shadows were their allies. Information was their most valuable weapon. They were masters of a subtle and often misunderstood craft. On the other side of this comparison, we find Kuk Sool. This is a very different kind of martial tradition, a comprehensive modern Korean martial art, created to combine many old skills into one unified system. So, who were the real ninjas, or shinobi, as they were more accurately known? They were primarily spies, scouts, saboteurs, operating during the turbulent periods of feudal Japan. Their employers were powerful lords or daimyo who needed an edge in a world of constant conflict and political intrigue. The ninjas' role was to work in secret. They were tasked to watch, to listen, to move through enemy territory without being seen. True invisibility was not about magic, it was about being so ordinary that no one noticed you. The training was focused on practical survival and mission success. A ninja learned how to hide effectively in any environment, dense forest, bustling castle town. They learned how to create and use traps for defense, to create diversions, to disable enemy resources. They were masters of using small, easily concealed tools or common household objects as, say, potent weapons. A simple hairpin could become a lockpick. A farmer's sickle could be a deadly weapon in a pinch. Their training emphasized moving quietly in the dark, scaling walls, understanding human psychology to manipulate and deceive their targets. The idea of ninja magic is one of the most persistent myths born from stories and theatrical plays. People spoke of invisibility, the power to disappear in a puff of smoke. In reality, these fantastical ideas came from the clever application of practical tricks and knowledge. A simple smoke bomb made from common chemicals could provide cover for a swift escape. The glint of a mirror could momentarily blind a guard. The true power of the ninja was psychological warfare. They used fear, surprise, illusion, making their enemies believe they were more than human. Therefore, ninjutsu is often mislabeled as just another martial art. It is more accurately described as a comprehensive set of skills for survival and espionage. The art, or more correctly, the skill set, includes disciplines like climbing, disguise, tool making, crowd control, escape artistry. While some of the training is undoubtedly physical, a great deal of it is about thinking strategically, staying calm under extreme pressure, adapting to unforeseen circumstances. In short, ninjutsu is not about a rigid set of forms or techniques. It's a mindset that is practical, flexible, ruthlessly efficient in achieving its objectives. Now, let us turn our attention to Kuk Sool, an art with a very different origin story. This comprehensive martial arts system began in the 20th century, officially founded in 1961 by Soo In-hyuk in Korea. Its name translates to National Martial Art Association. The founder's goal was to gather, study, organize the vast and scattered knowledge of older Korean martial systems that had existed for centuries. He also incorporated effective techniques from other East Asian arts, creating a curriculum both traditional in spirit and modern in systematic approach. Kuk Sool is a martial arts library, all bound into one cohesive volume. The curriculum of Kuk Sool is remarkably broad. It is built upon a foundation of fundamental techniques that include a huge variety of kicks, punches, other hand strikes. But it goes much further. Students learn an extensive array of joint locking techniques, breaking techniques designed to control an opponent with precision and leverage. They also master numerous throwing methods, grappling methods to unbalance and subdue an attacker. The system includes many weapon forms, teaching students to wield everything from swords, staffs, fans, ropes. Training is often formal, students practicing set forms or hyung, which contain long sequences of movements designed to build muscle memory and flow. Kuk Sool is modern, highly organized. Schools known as dojangs are found all over the world, teaching a standardized curriculum with a clear system of ranks and tests. This structure ensures quality control and provides a clear path for development. Students learn to fight effectively with their hands and feet. They learn to control an opponent's joints and dedicate years to mastering a wide variety of traditional weapons. Today, October 19th, 2025, the world is more complex than ever. Threats physical, threats digital, threats direct, threats indirect. This is not a simple question of who would win in a hypothetical fight. A deeper look at what each system offers, we will look at histories, methods, core philosophies, a journey from myth to reality, from the shadows of feudal Japan to the bright lights of a Korean dojang. Not about crowning a single victor, about understanding context and purpose, ninja path, evasion, intelligence, survival against overwhelming odds, Kuk Sool 1 path, discipline, comprehensive skill, moral development. We will examine practical applications you might face. We will compare tools and training. In the end, not who wins, but which path offers the right tools for the right job and the right person. The differences between the two traditions are vividly illustrated by their approach to weapons. Ninjas were masters of improvisation and concealment. They often used common tools that would not arouse suspicion, kunai, ropes, small, easily hidden blades, walking stick, writing brush turned deadly in skilled hands. Training focused less on formal kata and more on practical application, how to cut, how to stab, how to bludgeon, then apply those principles to whatever was available. Not for duels, but for creating distractions, delivering poisons, silently eliminating a sentry from a distance. The ninja's weapon: use what works, use what's available, always maintain the element of surprise. Kuk Sool 1 employs an extensive set of traditional weapons. Practitioners train for years with formal patterns and drills. That training builds skill, speed, and power. Each weapon trains techniques for blocking, striking, disarming. In a modern conflict, that difference matters. A ninja-trained person might have the advantage of surprise, produce a small blade from a hidden pocket, or use a belt as a makeshift flail, less elegant, brutally effective because it's unexpected. Mastery comes from thousands of hours of disciplined practice. How would each of these ancient traditions deal with a distinctly modern threat? Imagine a scenario: a persistent stalker in a crowded city. A ninja mindset approaches it through information and evasion. They would learn the stalker's routines, patterns, habits. They'd use that intelligence to alter routes, avoid confrontation points, and document the stalker with smartphone cameras. Their goal: remain a ghost while gathering evidence. Kuk Sool 1 training leans toward a more direct resolution. With common sense and caution, training builds confidence to face confrontation. They use situational awareness to detect an ambush and physical skills to defend if attacked, joint locks and throws useful for controlling and restraining without permanent injury, allowing a safe handoff to authorities. Challenges in 2025 aren't just physical. Our world is saturated with technology. Surveillance cameras are everywhere. Digital footprints are hard to erase. The ninja's stealth must adapt. Anonymity now means managing your digital presence, understanding cybersecurity, and knowing how tech can be used to track you. The principle stays: move without being seen, but the environment has fundamentally changed. The modern ninja must navigate firewalls as well as scale real walls. For Kuk Sool 1 practitioners, new challenges arise too. A direct fight in a crowded space can have legal and social consequences. Bystanders with cell phones mean every action can be recorded. Practitioners must be skilled in their techniques and wise in how they apply them. Discipline and self-control are more critical than ever. De-escalate when possible. Use only the necessary force. At their core, the philosophies guiding ninja training and Kuk Sool 1 are fundamentally different, and this shapes everything they do. The practice of the ninja, or ninjutsu, values survival above all else. It is a pragmatic and often ruthless philosophy born from a need to operate in hostile territory where capture meant certain death. It teaches one to use the environment as a tool and an ally. Avoiding needless conflict is a sign of intelligence, not weakness. Victory is not defeating an opponent in a duel, but accomplishing the mission and living to see another day. This philosophy cultivates cunning, adaptability, acute awareness, patience, and the restraint to wait for the perfect moment to act. The highest form of skill is to achieve one's goal without ever having to draw a weapon or fight at all. Kuk Sool 1 is built upon discipline, respect, and continuous moral training. The dojang teaches formal etiquette and a sense of shared purpose. It emphasizes the perfection of movement and the development of a strong perseverance, self-control. Rigorous training polishes mind and spirit. Use formidable skills responsibly for defense-building harmony within self and society. Today, long after the age of warring samurai has passed, the ideas of the ninja continue to exist in new and surprising forms. Stealth, deception, intelligence gathering mirrored in modern espionage agencies. Moving unseen and striking at an enemy's weakest point is a foundational idea in cybersecurity. Ethical hackers probe for vulnerabilities. Ninja as a permanent icon in global pop culture, not just about fighting, about a way of thinking, problem solving, strategic planning, maintaining composure in high-stakes situations. A business leader analyzes weaknesses. An emergency responder navigates danger. Adaptability and resourcefulness. The sharpest weapon is a well-trained mind that sees solutions. Kuk Sool 1 grows as a cultural export from Korea. Standardized curriculum, global organization, spread to communities worldwide. Path to physical fitness, strength, flexibility, cardiovascular health, dynamic practice that builds confidence and self-esteem. Mastery brings tangible accomplishment. An open living art that evolves, promotes physical health, mental strength, and a strong sense of community. So, who really wins in 2025? As we have seen, there is no single simple answer. The question itself is flawed. It assumes both traditions are competing for the same prize. If the goal is to avoid danger, gather sensitive information, neutralize a threat with absolute discretion, the ninja's skills and mindset are unparalleled. Strength in the shadows, in careful planning, in psychological warfare. If the goal is to face an attacker with confidence, control a violent confrontation, or develop yourself through a disciplined, ethical system, Kuk Sool 1 is a powerful choice. Both traditions give students more than combat skills. Both paths lead to greater self-control and a more purposeful life. Choose the path that fits your life, learn the truths behind the stories, and decide which lessons are worth keeping.